The marriage that made her disappear. The day Ife's mother died, she was sitting on her living room floor. Her phone had been ringing for hours. When she finally picked it up, her younger sister's voice was trembling. "Ife, Mommy keeps asking for you. Please come quickly." But Ife didn't move, not because she didn't love her mother, not because she didn't want to go, but because her husband had already told her something earlier that day. "If you step outside this house, I will kill myself." And suddenly, Ife realized something she had been avoiding for years. She had not married a man. She had married a prisoner. Bolaji was the kind of man people admired the moment they saw him. You know the type. Tall, charismatic, successful. He had grown up in a comfortable home in Lagos, where life always seemed to work out for him. His parents were respected. He attended one of the most prestigious universities in the United States, and from a very young age, Bolaji was used to something simple, getting what he wanted. When he came back to Nigeria, success followed him easily. A great corporate job, an impressive social circle, the kind of confidence that made people listen when he spoke. To most people, Bolaji looked like the perfect husband. But Ife's life had taken a very different path. She was the second child in a family of 5. Her mother had married her father as his second wife after his first wife left, taking one of her daughters and leaving the other. Instead of resentment, Ife's mother did something remarkable. She raised his daughter like her own child. Ife grew up watching her mother sacrifice endlessly for the family, cooking, providing, holding everything together. Her mother believed something deeply. A woman builds the home, even when life becomes difficult. And life eventually became very difficult. Ife's father once worked for a respected insurance company in Nigeria. Their life was stable, until the day everything fell apart. He was accused of approving the insurance payout for a damaged container that was still under investigation. But according to him, someone had forged it. Whether it was true or not, the company fired him. And after that moment, nothing in their lives was ever the same again. Jobs stopped coming. Money disappeared. Then one morning, he packed his bags and left. Just like that. Leaving Ife's mother alone with 5 children in a house whose rent was about to expire. They had to leave the city and move to a small village community. But Ife refused to let hardship decide her future. She studied harder than everyone around her. She worked harder, pushed herself further. And years later, in her mid-30s, Ife had built something remarkable. She had become one of the most respected professionals in her industry, an industry dominated mostly by men. She was confident, smart, and known for getting results. That was the woman Bolaji met. They met at a corporate networking event in Lagos. The chemistry between them was immediate. Bolaji admired her intelligence. Ife admired his confidence. Soon, he started taking her out. Dinner dates in Victoria Island, drinks at rooftop lounges, weekend trips, and eventually a vacation in Dubai. Friends used to laugh when they saw them together. "Ife, this man is spoiling you, oh." And she would laugh. "He just treats me well." But sometimes, some moments made her uncomfortable. If she spoke to another man, Bolaji would ask quietly, "Who is that?" If she laughed too long with a friend, he would say, "You are giving people time that should belong to me." Ife ignored those moments. She believed it meant he loved her deeply. So when Bolaji proposed, she said yes. The first few months of marriage seemed normal. Then slowly, something shifted. One evening, Ife was having dinner with a client from work. Her job often required her to meet clients outside the office. They were discussing business when the restaurant doors suddenly opened. Bolaji walked in. His eyes were full of anger. "Who is this man?" The entire restaurant went quiet. Ife stood up immediately. Bolaji, he's a client. But Bolaji was already furious. Are you cheating on me? The humiliation was unbearable. The next morning, Ife was called into her manager's office. Her manager spoke carefully. Ife, you are one of our best employees. But if something like this happens again, we may have to reconsider your position. It doesn't reflect well on the company. For the first time, Ife felt something heavy settle in her chest. Shame. Not long after that, Ife discovered she was pregnant. For a moment, she felt hope again. Maybe a baby will bring peace into the home. But when she told Bolaji, his reaction shocked her. You are pregnant? Yes. Bolaji looked at her carefully. How do I know the baby is mine? The words felt like a slap. You are always out with men, meetings, dinners, clients. How do I know who the father is? Then his mother got involved. Soon there was a family gathering. Bolaji's mother spoke bluntly. We are not fools. That pregnancy is suspicious. And then they made their demand. When the child is born, we will do a DNA test. Distress crushed Ife. Weeks later, she began bleeding. At the hospital, the doctor spoke gently. I'm sorry. The pregnancy didn't survive. She lost the baby, and something inside her broke as well. After that day, Ife slowly began to disappear. The confident woman people admired began to shrink. At work, she stopped volunteering for meetings with male clients. Sometimes she would whisper to colleagues, please take that meeting for me. At home, the criticism never stopped. Why are you smiling at that man? Why is your dress so tight? You are a married woman now. Behave like one. Some nights, Ife stayed late at the office on purpose, because going home meant interrogation, accusations, arguments. Little by little, she stopped laughing, stopped visiting friends, stopped calling family. Until one day, she realized something frightening. She had made herself invisible just to keep the peace. One evening, she sat quietly in the living room. Bolaji, she said softly, I can't do this anymore. He looked at her slowly. You want to leave me? I'm not happy, she said. I feel like I'm disappearing. Bolaji leaned forward and said something that froze her. If you ever leave me, I will end myself. And just like that, she stayed. For months, she endured everything, because she believed that leaving might destroy a life. One evening, she overheard a male colleague speaking to his wife in a kind and encouraging tone, something she hadn't experienced in a long time. One morning, she looked in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. So she packed his suitcase and she left. 2 days later, Bolaji's mother called her. You wicked woman, your husband tried to end his life. Ife felt the guilt crush over her. Maybe she had made a terrible mistake. Maybe she should go back. That night, she called her younger sibling. What if he dies because of me? Her sibling replied calmly, You are not responsible for another adult's life. Her boss told her the same thing. Eventually, they convinced her to see a therapist. At first, therapy was painful. She kept blaming herself. But slowly, the truth became clear. Another person's choices are not your responsibility. Months later, Bolaji called again. I'm getting therapy now, he said. Please come back. Ife listened quietly. Then she said something she once thought she could never say. I hope you get better, Bolaji, but I'm not coming back. And for the first time in years, Ife chose herself. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fableland_stories to hear his own side of the story.